You're about to watch a Trains Newswire video. If you enjoy what you see, consider watching some of our other full-length videos. Selling Sunshine, the Florida Trains. Locomotive 2017, a video companion to our best-selling annual issue. Big Steam is back. All of these and more are available from our website, kalmbachhobbystore.com. Good morning, Trains Nation. Today is Friday, November 17th, 2017. 11, 17, 17. We got that.
Yeah.
We were joking about that all day today. Brian, there was a lot of news out this week, a lot of big news, smaller,
That's what you say.
Fewer stories, but big stories. We got to start with the biggest one. GE Corporate announces they're going to sell GE Transportation or spin it off somehow in the next year or two.
I'm confused. What does Hunter Harrison have to do with this?
Well, nothing.
You said it was the biggest story.
Well, this is actually bigger than Hunter Harrison and CSX.
Tell me more.
Well, exactly. So GE Transportation has been pummeled in stock prices for the past couple of months. Their earnings have been sliding, their profitability has been sliding for almost a decade, and they're just not performing like the industrial giant that they used to be. So corporate officers announced this week that they're going to try and spin off GE Transportation, which in 2016 had some $4 billion in sales, about $1 billion in profitability, numbers around.
So what's the timeline for this?
I said 1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years,
So
okay.
12 to 24 months. And we've got a story up on Newswire announcing that. We also have a story up on Newswire that I wrote yesterday, just giving some different possibilities. Could GE Transportation be sold off and merge with Alstom or Siemens, or could Warren Buffett pick it up? So I've got some of those possibilities outlined. But this is really a shocker. I think this is even more shocking than General Motors selling EMD, because GE's been with it longer. They've been making locomotives for more than 100 years, like 110, 120 years. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. And they actually palled up with Alco many years ago, and I know you're an Alco fan of sorts.
Well, that was the GE supplied Alco's electrical gear. Mm-hmm. Alco provided the locomotives and the prime movers, and GE provided what was in the trucks and all the wiring system. And then in the 60s, when GE went out on its own, Alco ended up, I guess you'd say, in bed with Westinghouse and using all of its electrical gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes now.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. So I know a lot of people in northwestern Pennsylvania, all my buddies back there salute you, and a lot of people in Fort Worth, Texas area, wondering what's going to happen next with their jobs, with their careers, and with their company. So we're thinking about you, and we're going to follow this story. Bill Stevens is on assignment right now. When he gets back next week, he's going to be following up on this and seeing corporately what are all the machinations and what could happen out of this. Of course, GE is not only a major employer in the world, but certainly in the United States, and as a locomotive maker, they're tops in the world for heavy haul diesel electric locomotives.
And they just had that 1,000-unit order to start to go to
India.
India, yeah.
India, yeah. They're going to mostly be assembled in India, but a lot of the components would have come from the U.S. too. So really, really big deal. Something a little more lighthearted. You reported earlier this week when you were filling in for me on Monday that the Milwaukee Zoo hosted another biofuel test, which I thought was kind of cool. I saw one of these about a year ago. And what are they doing? They're using little compressed pellets or something?
Yeah, there was a couple different versions of it with pellets and different forms of basically the same stuff. Mm-hmm. But to try to find something that's better than coal, that runs cleaner, that might be cheaper, that might be sustainable. There's a finite supply of coal, at least until we compress more matter into the ground over tons of time.
We need prehistoric bogs to do that.
To do that. But yeah, we can make this biofuel. Bio means it's from plants.
Mm-hmm.
We can make it over and over and over. They're trying to anyway, and make it sustainable.
Yeah, well, that's pretty interesting. And the reason why it was in the Milwaukee Zoo, or the Milwaukee Zoo if you're local, is because they have two operating steam locomotives. I think they're 15-inch gauge?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 15-inch gauge. And so they were actually hand-firing the steam locomotives with this biocoal, they call it, or torrefied biomass.
And even better is that they have a significant line. It's 1.25 miles, I think, thereabouts.
Right.
And there's a pretty good grade on it too, so you can really see some performance changes. You're not just running circles around a flat line somewhere. You can really do a performance test with this stuff, which is outstanding.
Absolutely. Yeah. So read that on Newswire. There's actually some other stories that we should repost on that from back in the day from Newswire. So that was kind of good. Amtrak news. Amtrak announced that in fiscal year 2017 that ended in September, that Amtrak broke ridership, revenue, and earnings records. The best year, sounds like the best year ever in Amtrak's 40-some year history. which is pretty cool.
Nowhere to go but up.
No, well, oh, nowhere to go up. Anyway, Bob Johnston, we've got that story, and we also have Bob Johnston's analysis. He questions, well, he says it's good news, but what are the detailed numbers? How did this record year happen? He wants to know that, but follow his line of logic online. Also, with Amtrak, the National Transportation Safety Board released a report this week that says that there is a culture of fear at Amtrak in 2016, early 2016, when there was a crash between, I believe it was the southbound Palmetto. Is that right? The southbound Palmetto and a backhoe. You were in the area at that time.
I was down in Baltimore at the time.
Yeah, and you drove up and
Jim
took
told me
pictures.
to go rent a car and drive up to Philadelphia. So
Yep.
there I went.
It was a good thing. A good thing for you to do that for us. But that story is on Newswire this week as well. Really kind of shocking how many lapses in safety there were. But the NTSB and Amtrak says that all the problems have been fixed or addressed. So, read that. Talgo's returning to Milwaukee. You saw this.
Tell me more.
Yeah, so Talgo's, the tilting trains developed by Spanish maker Talgo. And in fact, I think these were made in Milwaukee, were they
It was one of the Milwaukee trains.
Yeah, one of the Milwaukee trains. We're operating in the Pacific Northwest. One of them derailed and crashed earlier this year, and that had to be repaired. So they've trucked all 14 cars and units to Milwaukee. Now, I thought a lot of people were commenting online and on Facebook that this was rather awkward, and I want to know what you thought of that.
It's the best and cheapest way. If you've got a contract to do something, you're going to do it the best and cheapest way. And if trucking is cheaper and more flexible, they're going to do it.
Rather than 14
Right.
back-to-back flat cars.
Right. You could probably get 2 of these little things on a flat car. They're not terribly heavy.
True.
So, but whatever rate BNSF or UP quoted them wasn't as good as, if they even went that route,
Yeah.
wasn't even as good as trucking them. So
Yeah. So we're looking into that to see, maybe there's a little bit more detail there. Maybe there was some special reason other than price why they couldn't move by truck. But what a shame if they couldn't move by rail. I mean, I agree with some of our readers. What a shame that a train couldn't move by rail. We got a movie review.
Oh, really?
On the Orient Express. Murder on the Orient Express. Did you see that one yet?
I have not seen it.
Do you intend to see that one?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I read your review.
as you should too. As you should too. And you will find out why Brian is not going. Go away. If you're going to go to the movies anyway, go see it because it has a train in it. The whole thing's on a train. Most of it's on a train. But if you have to choose between that and something else that you really want a great train movie like Emperor of the North, go see that one.
That's a classic.
Go get that one. And last but not least today, there is a really big event happening in eastern Kentucky, far western Virginia, and eastern Tennessee. And that would be the
Santa Train.
The CSX Santa Train, the 75th running of the CSX Santa Train, originally the Clinchfield Railroad Santa Train, and this year the CSX Transportation has worked with private owners of locomotives and a few volunteer groups to repaint a Clinchfield F3 number 800 in original Clinchfield colors, and it'll be followed by, I believe, an SD45.
SD45 in Clinchfield colors as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be running down the original Clinchfield main line, 75 years after the first Santa Train. It warms my heart to know that's happening. And that's where Jim Rinn is right now. He's down in Clinchfield territory. He's following the train. He's talking to people who had a hand in making the train happen. And he's going to come back with a bunch of posters for us. There's a Newswire story this week about posters that they made special for the Santa Train. CSX did. They've been beat up hard over the past year.
Yeah.
The railroad, between the
not the posters, the railroad. The posters are pristine.
The posters are pristine. Yeah, but the railroad's been beaten up, but this is really good news. This is really good news for them, and I'm glad to see that they've been able to make some lemonade out of some lemons.
And we're expecting some more Facebook and Newswire updates.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Jim's going to be on Facebook and Twitter. He's going to be tweeting out highlights from his journey tomorrow. He's going to follow it all the way from Kentucky down to Tennessee, and it crosses through Virginia. He's going to be tweeting on that, and then Saturday night Jim's going to be posting a story on Newswire. So be sure to catch that Saturday night. If you can't go out to the Clinch and see the train yourself, we'll give you the latest on Newswire. So come back on Saturday night to see that.
Outstanding.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that would pique your interest?
That's all I have for now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for everyone at Trains Magazine, have a great weekend.